Okay, so I wanted to talk about this, more in detail. And you can see this collage I just barely made as I'm here in the Cypress College campus again. You can see here that the left side has me in Reza. However her name is pronounced, some call her Riza. I call her Reza. She was my former classmate from ESL 186. I think that was the first friend she was only a couple of years younger than me, and but we had class together, and I think she was like my first really close friend. I know there was Nathan and then Jazz Stephen from pre-cal, but she was first that I met, and then we had we were like really kind of close, study buddies, just like I was with Nathan when it comes to did I say pre-cal? Sorry, calculus. Yeah, which I didn't really pass, by the way. That was the only math class I did not pass, but it is what it is. But yeah, so she and I have been classmates only for like 1 year, and we still kind of kept in touch, but it faded very quickly. So it only lasted about like a couple of years in general. And if you look on the right side, obviously, who these people are. I've actually lasted with these guys, and as well as most of my then ex-close female friends. By the way, all these girls are Filipino, okay? But if you see on the right side, where they had 4 of them, you see Angel, Griza, Mari, and Rhea. I lasted longer with these guys, all of them, all together. So I think, I started being friends with these guys. Some of them were in 2015, some of them were in 2016. With Mari, I know she of all the 4, Mari's the only one that's stuck around. And obviously when I thought everything was going to fall apart, it had to take one of my personal situations for us to really reconnect, and from there, we're still good, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, for the most part, I just wanted to point out that, I actually had lasted longer with all these guys, and, we just had a much longer relationship. And, in the case of Angel, I think it was, I met her in 2016. We started talking a little bit. We started talking more in 2017, and that lasted 9 years. So damn near, 9 years. Yeah, 9 years, and and then when the case of Kriza, obviously 2015, and then Mari was 2016, and Rhea was also 2015. So I lasted for at least 8 to 9 years, and it's got to be a blessing to have these guys around. It's quite a blessing to have known these guys, and really building a solid relationship with all of them. And I know for a majority of these guys, they only lasted for as long as they've lasted, but still, it's long, and I have so much closeness with these guys that I wish I had with Reza back then. But when I met Reza, this was like right after I graduated and started my college career here in Cypress College, where I'm at right now, just taking a walk. Being a former student here for the past damn near 20 years or 21 years. So long ago. And when it came to these 4 guys, it was 10 years later. So 10 years later, I met these 4, and I actually lasted longer with them. And that was when I was able to build my self-image in a much better way. Because then, I mean, these guys were able to, allow me to be the person I am. And I'm talking about the friendships I had with them, and they allowed me to be, to love myself a whole lot more than I ever did way back when I was still in my, when I was a student in college and high school as well. So, like I said, it was a blessing to have these guys around. Although they were actually about 8 years younger than me. So these guys are younger than Reza's age. Because when I met did I say Reza? Sorry, Reza. When I met Reza, she was only like a couple of years younger than me. But the four of these guys that are in the collage are 8 years younger than me, if I'm not mistaken. In the case of Kriza, I think she was like, if I gotta be honest, 10 years younger. I mean, when I met her, she was like, I think she was just barely 18 at the time, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I think Kriza is like the youngest of the four, or the three, if you're talking about these guys being younger. I'm talking about, these are all Popstar friends with the exception of Mari, who was a Julia Angel, Julia Montez fan, right? But yeah, altogether they're like 8 years younger. And so, but it was much easier for me to, to have developed, to really develop the kind of friendships that I had with these guys, because one, they were much more approachable, and considering that they're much younger, I guess, it must be a lot more of a blessing, because, that really helped me to feel younger as well, and that, they allow me to have built this spiritual self, to where I have more energy and I feel more comfortable being myself, and they're just allowing me to just be a much better version of me than I did with Reza. And no disrespect to Reza, she was a nice person, she was a nice friend to have, but our relationship, as far as our friendship's concerned, only lasted for so long. I know she's got a lot of friends. I've seen her with groups of friends, and I can only imagine if I was still a student in this very campus, and these guys, and I met these guys. I'm talking about Angel, Rhea, Kriza, Marielle, Christine, Pearl Jane. I can only imagine what my world would be like if I met all these guys in person in this very school, and it would be totally different, and it will make my life much more exciting. Let's just be honest. You know what I'm saying? I mean, even though all of our friendships are pretty distant, I always got a strong feel for them. Like, I always have that connection. Like, my heart is with them. So, and yes, I've had my video chats with all these guys. So, I gotta say, man, it was a blessing to have these guys around. And although I wish I had lasted longer with them, if I wasn't still in my worst, then our friendships would definitely, I think that myself as a person wouldn't be this shell of myself. But I gotta be thankful, man. I gotta be thankful to have all these friendships. That day, I know it's really windy out here. I had no idea it was gonna be this windy until I realized that the news said it was gonna be gusty winds. So, I just wanted to touch on this. I really miss these guys. I miss all of them, even Reza, but I miss more of the ones that I was friends longer with, obviously. Angelique, Rhea, Kriza. I know I saw Mari. Even I miss her too, because we talked a whole lot, especially back in social media. I know she's really busy with her life, but she's the only one that I can be blessed to still have. And yeah, I think Mari is, how old is she? So I'm 9 years younger than me. Well, yeah, I mean, her birthday is going to be in April, so technically it's 8, but sometimes it's just 9. But yeah, you know. All right, well, that's all I gotta say about it, man. Let me know what you guys think. And I really enjoy talking in this topic. I wish I could talk more about it, but I gotta get going now. So peace out, everyone. Thank you for watching, everyone. Like, share, and subscribe.